I take a break from my usual Caribbean cruising and hop on board Celestyal Journey for their 7-day Desert Days itinerary with stops in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Oman, Bahrain, and Yas. Come along for this unique cruise experience.
Let's take this show on the road.
Hi, my name is Carlene. I work a 9 to 5, but travel the world as if I don't. This is my channel, See It With C, where I share how I balance a thriving career while maintaining a travel lifestyle.
Tonight I gotta break free.
The first port of call for this 7-day cruise was Bahrain, and I immediately noticed how industrial this cruise port was. Industrial? Now I don't know what that is. Is that Ritz-Carlton? Whose yacht is this? But a pretty industrial cruise port. Looks like there is some sort of duty-free shop here. Not too fussy. So they have something in here, like a Falcon. So they had a free 1 GB SIM card. It required your passport and a photo. We're gonna see. I've never done that before. All my security compliance is like, don't do it, but I'd rather make sure I have some reliable Wi-Fi and data. I did not pre-book an excursion, so I took the shuttle to find a taxi cab. And I will say, I had a bit of a hustle that I encountered. Okay, so they said it's allegedly a holiday in Bahrain. They couldn't turn the meter on. Whatever, never been here before. I'm going to eat this one for not planning ahead. But we are here at the National Museum, and I get to get my own little private tour of myself. So I guess that's the perk. It was only $125. I'm only going to do 2 tours here in Oman, as I can pretty much navigate Dubai and Abu Dhabi on my own. So, all right, let's see what the National Museum has to offer. Upon entering the museum, I noticed a ton of luxury vehicles lined up at the entrance. So it made me believe that maybe there was actually a holiday, as there were several dignitaries inside the museum on this day. So there's a map on the floor, I'm assuming of Bahrain. It's kind of cool. This hall has a variety of, I guess, a dedication to the mounds that were used to bury individuals, and it was a very unique structure to the point that these mounds are now UNESCO World Heritage Site. So that's kind of cool. Throughout the museum, there were phones that you could pick up and hear the descriptions of the displays in whatever your chosen language was. All right, so a quick self-guided tour of the Bahraini National Museum, just to, kind of get myself oriented to what the culture is. It probably would have been a little better if it was a little guided, but it's okay. I just want to see the country, experience some of the things before heading back to the ship. It's a cool sculpture garden over here. It's See It With C, and we are here, beautiful Bahrain, at the National Museum. This is pretty much a self-guided tour today. I did not plan appropriately, so what I did was I hired a guide at the port. Probably paid a little more than expected, but we just want to hit on a couple of things while here in Bahrain. So I'm going to let him just take me around. This is stop number 1, and we have a couple hours before we get back in the ship. But this museum was pretty beautiful. We got to see a lot of the, architectural findings and got to understand some of the culture of Bahrain. What I'm learning is a lot of these towns are pretty much built on deserts. They're kind of establishing themselves more as like they have deep culture, but in regards to like things to see, you're going to see more of the historical aspects or the more religious aspects in regards to like the museums and the mosques. So come along, we have a full day of exploring Bahrain. The next stop was a little under 15 minutes away, and that was a visit to the Grand Mosque. However, when arriving to the Grand Mosque, you will always also get a quick view of their lovely National Library. So we are here at their Grand Mosque here in Bahrain. It's almost like, Europe, you go to a lot of churches. In the Middle East, you're going to go to a lot of mosques. It's appropriate that you are covered. I am currently struggling because I have my South Africa clothes, but I bought me an abaya. So hopefully that helped me a little bit. I'm trying to, keep it as covered as possible. However, there are coverings to take at the entrance. So let's go inside, but this is a beautiful view. So they also have coverings out here for you to use. And while I already have a abaya, I might just take an extra covering because my skirt has a slit in it. So I want to hide that as much as possible. It was simply stunning inside of the mosque. I took the opportunity to sit and listen to a presentation on the Islamic faith, and I found it very informative. It was a really good presentation, very informative. That was very beautiful to experience. Just to hear the intersections of all of our religion, all of our beliefs. They also give you a couple of free takeaways, so some reading. It was kind of cool to come here on a Sunday to just, exercise some sort of belief. I'm not sure where else my driver's going to take me. I'm kind of like, I can go back to the ship and eat, but we'll see if he has anything else interesting from here. The last stop of the day was to visit the Fort of Bahrain. So there's not a ton to see, but I would say what there is to see is worth seeing. This is a historical site here. Oh, it was designated UNESCO World Site, Heritage Site in 2005. So this fort was once a cultural hub. It was definitely a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 2005. But basically it went from like the entrance point for Bahrain to now ruins, but well preserved. Caught another vlogger in the wild. I will say if you do come here, make sure that you wear appropriate shoes. I have on Tevas, which are actually broken in. However, I'm kind of like, I don't feel like walking that whole loop around. I'm batting away flies. But yeah, it was good to see. It would probably be more interesting if there was a guided tour of some sorts. I do think if I had went through the building, there was a guided tour, but I just rather, since I'm winging it with a taxi cab, I'd rather just be safe and not take too long getting back to the ship. And I want to get back to the ship for lunch, so. Alrighty, so I think I'm gonna wrap up the day here in Bahrain at the fort and head back to the ship. I don't wanna but I don't wanna drag out too much time for two reasons. A, I wanna get closer back to the ship because I am on like a self-guided taxi, cruise ship excursion, so that's risky. and B, I want to get back so that I can have lunch because I paid for it there. Alrighty, so heading back to the ship, but it's been cool to see. We saw earlier today, we saw the National Museum, we got to see the Grand Mosque, and then we got to end here at the Fort of Bahrain. So alrighty, heading back to the ship to see what's available this afternoon for evening activities and dinner and all the other things, as well as some rest and relaxation because it's actually sunny out. So I'm gonna head back now. Okay, so I was going to find somewhere else in the ship to sit, but it looks like my quickly growing favorite spot, Cafe Horizon, Cafe something. The place I was there last night for music is having a trivia of sorts before sail away. So I might get a seat for trivia and then find somewhere else to go. Alrighty. Okay, so we're heading down to Cafe Nation on deck 8. This is the chef's table experience. So I was walking past, heading to Cafe Nation, and I see the chef's table area. That's pretty cool. Given the size of this ship, they really kind of tucked in a lot of the traditional cruise spaces, so that's appreciated. It's a lot put on this ship, even though it's not the biggest ship you'll ever be on, but a lot of, again, the public spaces are up to date. I relaxed and watched sail away from this lounger in Cafe Nation until it was time to start trivia. Today's trivia was a flag quiz, which I ended up being pretty terrible at. I thought I would be better at flag trivia, having been visited to over 40 countries. However, we all got beat by a 9-year-old Russian boy. So I'm having a pre-dinner cocktail at the Blue Bar, and they have really fancy, pretty looking drinks. Okay, I'm gonna peek my head into the show to see what it's like. I didn't stay at the show very long and ended up back in Cafe Nation, which is my usual spot in the evening for the live music. Y'all, they got a Caribbean mix to Sweet Caroline is sending me. Yeah, man. Sweet Caroline, man. And then I concluded my evening in the nightclub, and I was pretty impressed with how diverse the musical selections were. Just to note though, during this sailing, the population in nightclub fluctuated as this population on the ship fluctuated because people were getting on and off the ship at each port stop. So after Dubai, the ship was pretty empty, and therefore the nightclub was not really much of an option in the evenings. All right, so let's recap day 2. So day 2, I spent here in Bahrain. I attempted to buy a excursion from the excursions desk on the first night of the sailing. However, all the excursions from Bahrain were sold out, but the lady at the excursions desk told me that I could catch a cab. Well, what she did not tell me was catching a cab was not going to be super smooth. So when you leave the ship, you have to catch a shuttle. There is a duty-free shop that has a lot of things that you might need. So I had to get me an English adapter or European adapter because I left mine at home. I just was not prepared leaving out for the holiday trip. But anyway, when I got to the gate where the taxis were, I guess I was expecting it to be like Doha, where they immediately turn on the meter and it's not an issue. Well, when I got to the gate, they were like, it's a holiday. And if you know anything about travel, a lot of times, you know, they'll use any excuse not to turn the meter on. So I was just like, I was about to turn around, but I was kind of like, all right, this is my first time in in Bahrain. I don't know when I'll be back. So sometimes you just gotta bite the bullet of like, are they gonna get over on me, or am I gonna get the experience, something I've never experienced before? So I was just like, okay, you know, the guide, I basically was like, you know, I want to see a few sites, and they were, the ship left at 4 o'clock, 4:30, and I didn't want it to be super long, so I just said, hey, I want to be back by 2:30. So I was able to hire a cab for the day for $120. I did end up tipping him $120 US, the equivalent of $120 US. And of course, at the end of the trip, magically he found, you know, I knew he said he had a credit card machine, so that it was helpful. But you know, to have my own private excursion and move about the way I wanted to move about, I can't complain. You know, that excursion was probably in the same range on the ship. So, but he took me to, he wasn't a crazy driver, like, you know, he was pretty decent with driving. He took me to the National Museum, he took me to the Grand Mosque, he took me to the fort, and he was going to take me to the souk. However, I declined the souk because at that point it was 2 o'clock. I knew I wanted to be back at 2:30. From that area of town to the cruise ship, it's about 30 minutes, and so I was just kind of declined. And if you've already seen one souk, you've seen them all. And something you all should be mindful of is sometimes in the souk they'll take you to all their friends' booths who they'll get kickbacks for, and instead of you moving, you know, along, you end up getting stuck, and you just tell how much people know. So I was just kind of like, no, just take me back. So he took me back. I ended up tipping him, and I found it end up worth it. You know, granted, I was a little, you know, upset that I couldn't. Hold on, I don't know if my mic is working. Pause for the cause. Take two, the mic was on. Or maybe not, but the sound was working. So anywho, I got back to the ship, came for lunch. I did lunch in the Thalassa, not Thalassa, the Taverna buffet, and I headed down to trivia. Trivia was really hard. It wasn't hard, it's just that I went to flag trivia. Apparently I don't know any flags, and then I did Doha trivia. I did a little better for Doha trivia. And then after that I had dinner, and then I went over to the lounge that you have seen me last night with the live music, and then tonight I actually tried the club. Tomorrow we are heading to Dubai, and we get to Dubai at 1:30, which I'm excited about, sleeping in and not feeling like crap that I'm not getting up out of bed early. So we head to Dubai. I'm not sure what we're going to do in Dubai, so after I finish recording this, I'm going to figure some things out. But I've been to Dubai before. Dubai is not one of my favorite places in the world, but the purpose of this channel is to show you some of the things. So we'll see what I can find to do in Dubai, or we'll be exploring the ship. Let's see. All right, here's to day 3 coming up on Celestyal Journeys, where we'll be either exploring Dubai or the ship. We'll see. Good morning. So they've been making announcements since 8:45. This is the day I want to just relax and rest. So I have to get up and get my passport from the lounge so that I can get off in Dubai. So this is something that I guess with this style of cruising, you need to be mindful of, I guess, all the immigration processes, and yeah. So much for sleeping in. Let me get up to grab my passport. So this is the letter I got saying meet, and we have to go through immigration face control this afternoon. It's mandatory, which I wasn't planning on getting off ship till tomorrow, I think, but here's the amphitheater. Okay, I'm gonna get some coffee.
Position of the
So it's
officer,
weird.
second
They will
command
let
board.
me sit and have my coffee.
No?
According to my drink package, if I sit down, if I ask to take it away, I have to pay €6. So I'm just gonna sit. I wanted to drink coffee and watch the ship come into port, but it's not worth €6.
What is the right?
The ship has some onboard activities like dance classes. However, they really weren't well attended, and most people were just using this vessel to get from city to city. I decided to head up as we sailed into Dubai. I got my baby back. Alrighty, let me get some clothes on so that we can do the customs whatever thing. Alright, from the cruise port you have a front row seat to seeing the skydivers. So literally I'm on the deck and there's a landing strip right there so you can catch somebody coming down. Where are they? There goes my friends, skydiver friends. Oh, there we go. Now some people like to plummet straight down. These are the friends that are taking their time. There you go. Look at Jesus. Land on your butt. Mm-hmm. Oh, those are the tandem jumpers. Cool. Ta-da! And this is their plane landing after dropping them off. So let me know in the chat, would you skydive? Put in the comments, yay, nay, too crazy, hell yeah, I've been there, done that. Let me know in the comments. I had lunch before heading off the ship and had a front row seat to Costa Smeralda leaving the port of Dubai. And the size of this ship has me a little interested in Costa Cruise Lines. Comment in the chat if you have sailed Costa before. We got laundry. Let me tell y'all, I was researching the temperatures and I was like, okay, cool. It's gonna be like 75. It's been cold. And of course, the 3 outfits that I have that are warm, I already had like worn them leaving South Africa or on the plane, those kind of things. So I was like, I have to do laundry because all I have is like kind of lightweight dresses or things that like I would be, you know, out and about socializing in, and not necessarily my cruise clothes, which are like layers and loungy stuff. So I'm happy that I got some laundry done. So hopefully that will get me through the rest of the cruise in relation to like warm layers. Because, you know, sometimes you can like rewear a layer, but like after like a couple of times, you gotta like wash that thing. So yay, happy to have some laundry. I was hoping they had the old school carnival feel where they would like have like a laundry room or ironing room or something like that, because I have Tide Pods and I washed leaving South Africa, but I was really thinking like, okay, it's gonna be warm in the desert, and I know it's like cool nights, but I thought it was gonna be warmer during the days. It's been chilly and to the point that the ship has had to close the roof around the pool, but today in Dubai they announced it was like 79 degrees. So why ain't 7 p.m. Friday? It's 79 degrees and we're gonna go outside. All right, come on, let's go. We have stores in the port area here. Okay, so when you come into the port, as soon as you exit, there is a hop on hop off bus right here. You can buy it and then they'll pick you up here. And the ticket, so since I've been here before, really I'm just doing this to kind of give you all a good glimpse of Dubai. So I'm gonna do the hop on hop off bus for a day, and then tomorrow I have other plans, but you'll at least get to see some of the highlights of Dubai. Okay, so I don't know if these people be knowing when I'm dehydrated or they just be giving me stuff to shut up, but the driver just gave me a water. Only I asked for was like headphones, and he was just like, we don't have them, but here's, take a water. That's hospitality though. All right, so what it seems like is this is just a shuttle off the port, and then you hop onto the next line. We have literally a whole almost 2 days, a day and a half here in Dubai. So and I wish I would have known the hop on hop off bus had like a Dow. Well, I don't want the Dow cruise because I am doing that in another stop, but you get a ticket like this. I took a picture of my ticket. It can't focus. I took a picture of it because my experience in London, I literally lost my hop on hop off bus ticket when I was doing a long layover, and I had to like beg for them to just let me on the bus to stay on so we can get back to the airport. So I took a picture just to show proof that I have this, but it lasts for 24 hours basically, and then it includes a Dow cruise, a Dow cruise, so a Dow boat cruise. So honestly, you can just do this in Dubai. That starts tomorrow, I think. So you can do this can, I'm trying to look to see. Anywho, you can just basically do this, and this will have you covered in the Port of Dubai if you want to just get the quick overview of all the things that are available. Also, there are 2 different companies, so you might want to research which one. I don't know who is better, but just let you know there's 2 different options. One thing that makes Celestyal Cruises unique is that people are getting on and off the ship at basically each port. Alrighty, so all routes start at the Dubai Mall. No matter where you're going, Dubai Mall is where you'll start. Dubai Mall. The bus that's here at the cruise port is just a shuttle to get you to Dubai Mall, and then you will be able to go back to Dubai Mall to catch the shuttle back to the cruise port. But because I was like, oh, can I get headphones? And he's like, oh no, this is just a shuttle. So you're going to go to Dubai Mall, you're going to figure out which route you want to get on, and then go the full route, go back to Dubai Mall, and then that's where you'll figure out, you know, if you're ready to come back to the cruise port or if you want to catch another route. You are very close to the Atlantis Palm Jumeirah when you're at this cruise port. However, I decided to not go, even though I bought a ticket. Spending the day lounging in a beach club in Dubai is also a choice too. So it's a quick transfer to the next bus to get to the red line. So the tour was saying that you can get on the Palm Jumeirah monorail and go all the way to Atlantis. So I may try that to get to Atlantis either tomorrow going or tomorrow coming back to the boat, to the ship. So it's good to know like the transport options. But the good news is it's only a 15-minute ride via cab to Palm Jumeirah, Atlantis. So options. So we are now in Internet City, home of Google, Microsoft, many Fortune 500 companies. Pro tip, when they start making announcements for the Burj, go to the back of the bus on the top and you can get a selfie with the Burj, full view of it. So that's a tip if you ever do hop on, hop off bus here in Dubai. Okay, we want to transfer to the red line, so we get here off here at Dubai Mall. Even if you are not a big shopper, Dubai Mall is an attraction in and of itself, with things like fountains and a whole ice skating rink and much more for your enjoyment. Okay, to avoid getting hangry, I decided to stop in Dubai Mall to use the restroom and to grab something to eat. And I decided to switch it up and get some Asian food, so pad thai. Yes, there is an Italian place to the left of me. I didn't succumb to my comfort food, but I'm getting some pad thai, and hopefully I'll give me the fuel to finish up the route on the red line, which is kind of through the historic district. But I figured I'll just pause for the cause and get something to eat, so that way I have, you know, enough energy to finish up the hop on, hop off tour route. Okay, so you're not supposed to record any of the ladies in their burqa, etc. But I gotta tell you about the girls. Let's talk about the girls. The girls are giving watches. The girls are giving purses. The girls are giving designer eyeglasses. So don't get it fooled about the whole, oh, you know, they're covered and they can't show. They are giving what they can give. And it's a lot. And I like it. I appreciate it. It just shows you don't gotta be like butt ass naked and you still pulling them. I don't know, I'm just mesmerized by the culture. Meanwhile, these people got me out here looking like I'm dressed like Little House on the Prairie. I can't show it. Flowy dressing. Whew, I got 2 minutes. Let's see if I can make it. Okay, so I made it back to the bus. She said I can pretty much ride this around one time. Sorry, my ticket blew away. I can ride this around one time, and then it will drop me off here. 8:15, there will be a direct bus from here to the cruise. So as long as I don't have to go to the bathroom again, I'll be good. I previously visited Dubai on a glitch fare, which I found a $300 ticket to Abu Dhabi and then took a bus ride over to Dubai for 45 minutes several years ago. However, there have been a couple of new places that I've noticed. First is the Dubai Museum of the Future, which is highly recommended that you purchase tickets well ahead of advance. And then the Dubai Picture Frame is also a new development since the last time I visited. We passed the Sheikh Mohammed Palace, and then also 2 traditional souks. Your usual souk where you can find goods, and then the gold souk where you can purchase gold goods. And I will say the gold souk for Dubai is a good place for you to purchase gold items. The gold here is regulated, so you won't have to worry about some of the quality issues in some other spaces. There is also another cruise port, which is the bigger cruise port, so be mindful of where you may be stopping when you are, or which cruise port your ship is docked in when visiting Dubai by cruise ship. We circled around the Dubai Picture Frame one more time to see it lit up at night, and then it was time to head back to the ship, where I was pleasantly surprised related to the Orthodox Christmas that they were celebrating on board. Cookies. That's very cute. Aww. And they had, I guess a Christmas dinner, but I got back on the board too late, so I just ate at the buffet. But they do a special Orthodox Christmas dinner, so really neat. Although I purchased tickets to try the Aqua Adventure in Atlantis in Dubai, I decided to just stay on board. The weather was a little too cool for my liking, and I just wasn't sure exactly how to get back and forth. So I just decided to stay on board and enjoy the adults only area of the ship. Here in the back of the ship is the perfect place to find or see the skydivers. Let's see. And I'm sitting here in the adults only area, and they're just trickling down. There's their ride up there. Very cool. And something to keep you entertained. I can sit here and watch that all day. These skydivers just taking off and landing. It's interesting. It's only 75 degrees, but in the sun it feels a little warmer. Like the sun is just like directly on me. But then it quickly gets cool. So that's just something mindful about these desert days itineraries at this time of year. I'm sure, you know, during your warmer seasons it just stays hot all day. But you have to maximize the middle of the day when you're cruising to the desert, December, January. But I finally spotted them from like the time they jumped out the plane, and then you get to see the aftermath, because I was wondering like, where do they drop them? This has been fascinating. I don't know about y'all. I can watch certain stuff like over and over all day and like not get bored with it. It's amazing. I wish I could do this. I feel like I would get up there and it would be a hot, stinking mess. My favorites are the ones who just like dive bomb at the end. Where are y'all? Let's see. They're like this one. They just YOLO, calm down. I don't even know how many G's they're catching, but that's wild. Bless your heart. Alright, I had a very peaceful day on board. At first I was battling with myself. I really wanted to get one more excursion in. However, I really needed sleep. I really needed quiet time and just a moment to reflect and make sure I feel grateful before getting off the ship. So I decided to stay on board. But I was able to relax in the adults only area. It was very quiet on a port day, very quiet on the port day. Now I think I'm gonna head, I recorded a video. I recorded my MSC tips video. So if you wanna see that, that will be in a link card somewhere in the description. So check out that. And I think now I am gonna head downstairs to the main pool area and read a book for a bit, but in an hour or so there is a merengue class, and I have not really done outside of trivia any other ship activities, so I'm gonna put my little dance moves to work and see what this merengue class is like. Alrighty, come along.
Ready, ya sé. 1, 2, 3, 4, pam, pam, 1.
Okay, so I probably won't try specialty dining, but I'm gonna show you the menus. Here's smoked olive. It's a 5-course menu. And these are the options. Seafood prawn, tomato caprese. And then you have grill seekers, which is a 5-course menu from grilled meats. And you have shrimp, sea bass, or beef tenderloin. And then you have Pink Moon, which is their Asian-inspired restaurant. And it has so I'm okay with the main dining room options, but I figured you want to see that. The hot and sour soup was nice and spicy. Steak Cayenne this evening, like a mashed potato situation. Tonight was Arabian night. I felt it was a little tongue-in-cheek. I did not participate, and honestly, I felt a little cringe to see some folks dressed up, but it looked like the crew had a good time, and some of the passengers that participated also appeared to have a good time as well. The next day, we were off to Oman, and this was a tender port. Mein Schiff 4 by TUI was pretty much following us around this whole itinerary, but they were also in port this morning in Oman. Good morning. So today we arrived in Kasab, Oman, and we are doing a traditional dhow boat cruise around their longest fjord. Looking forward to this. I have not done a dhow boat or something similar, I can't remember what it was called, in Zanzibar, and that was a lot of fun. So it'll be interesting to see it here in Oman, which is country, let's see, I think we're on 38 now. Country number 38 is Oman. Between the Celestyal Journey ship and the Mein Schiff ship, there were a variety of individuals who spoke so many different languages, so they divided us into dhow boats based on language. I was on the English-speaking boat, And then once divided up, we were headed off to sail away for, I think this was a pretty decent amount of time in this excursion. It might have been like 3, almost 4 hours of just sailing around. Now, when I first saw these boats, I thought we had pirate situation in the area, but no. These are, the smaller boats are Iranian workers who are bringing goods back and forth between Oman and Iran, which is only about 60 some odd, I'm not sure, kilometer or miles between each other.
Sea level, it's Jabal Al Harim. There we
Once sailing around the fjord, we learned that about the different ways that people lived, including really remote lifestyles. We learned that children are basically brought on boat back and forth for school once a week. And we even had a couple of dolphin sightings. This sailing was so peaceful and relaxing that many of the participants were asleep on our way back to the ship. I noted some accessibility concerns, as you will have to move between the doll boats, and then there are stairs to get down to where the boats are docked, so just be mindful of this. Okay, so the boat cruise was cool. It's kind of like Alaska, but the desert version. So you're seeing a lot of rocks, cliffs, you can see some goats, a couple fishing towns, very small villages of like 15 to 20 people. It was very relaxing. It was, I wish it was a little warmer to actually swim, but it was cool to see. Half the boat passed out and fell asleep because it was so peaceful and calm on the way back. And they offer tea, they offer coffee, water bottles, a banana, and orange juice, oranges. So the tea is really good. It was worth it, worth seeing. Oh cool, there's a goat on the rock. He's doing his own thing up there. So it's about 70 some odd euro to purchase on the ship. There are people who are selling the same excursion at the dock, if that's your interest. This is a tender port, so you have to be mindful of making sure you catch your tenders on time, and the tenders aren't necessarily readily available. They come like every 30 minutes or so. And I already can see kind of a line building for a tender, but I'm gonna go see if I can find a magnet. It does not look like there's a whole lot around here, but I'm hoping there's at least a small gift shop. After a full day in port, we were pushing back, and I was able to get this really good view of Mein Schiff. It really sparked my interest in sailing this cruise line. Per usual, I spent my evening in Cafe Nation with the live music, and this evening there were dancers. I love cruise ship dancers because so many of them are like classically trained and they just take the floor. I can watch it all night. Y'all, they got wine flights. Hello, so we are at the island of Serbani Yas, and hey y'all, MSC, I thought we were pulling up on Norwegian. MSC isn't in port. Look at that new livery on the hull. I like it, MSC. I like what you're doing with that. Keep it up, keep it up. So Serbani Yas is a private island experience. We were told not to record until about 10:30. I was told that we were passing through like some naval areas, and that's the little Celestial Journey in the background there. There is like dedicated beach spaces for us on Celestyal Journey, and it's just truly a beach day. But again, look at MSC Euribia. Beautiful, beautiful livery there. And if you're interested in booking any MSC cruise, hassle-free, For a quote, reach out to me, seeitwithc@gmail.com. More than happy to discover your rates, see what's the best fit for you, and get you booked on your next cruise vacation. Alrighty, so we are here on Serbani Yas. When you come off the ship, make a right, and that will take you to beach area 4, where Celestyal has its set up for its cruisers. But look at this view. It's giving a cute little private island experience. I like it. I like it. I did not know this existed in the UAE. So something new, different than your usual, you know, Half Moon Cay, Perfect Day, Ocean Cay, all the K's and things. So let's see the private island experience. And we have MSC in port today, and it's MSC Euribia, which I don't think I've ever saw, and it's very different because it has actually colors on the hull. Its hull, so very cute, very different. There's a whole little fake grass situation over here. It looks like the toilets are kind of like porta potty-ish. Oh, there's hookah. That's cool. Whole little hookah setup over there. Different. So there's some places to buy knickknacks, gifts. You need any last minute? I love buying the oils. Here. And looks like there are, basically all these are Dubai. I don't see any specific Serbani Yas merch. Flip-flops. So a little sook action over here at the beach. See some snacks in there. You need to restock or have some beach snacks. Love this grassy area here. It's pretty cool. Very different private island vibe. Love this water. But no one's on that side. Everyone's on this other side. There's some volleyball going on here. And it is paved to walk on, so that's cool. All right, we're approaching Celestyal's area of the beach. All the way to the right of the port when your back is to the ships. Some games. They have the DJ here. Really good music. Pretty rocky and shelly, so I recommend you bring some water shoes. The water's cold, but it's very clear. I can see it being refreshing on a really hot day. I'm not getting in it, and I don't have the right shoes. I would have had my water shoes just to swim out a bit, but no, to the bar. I really appreciated the variety of cultural displays while we were in Serbani Yas. They played music for everyone, and folks really got on the dance floor. The MSC cruisers even came over to join us. The line going, and the staff are in on it too. And of course, I was just stunned by the fashion and beauty of the women in their abayas and hijabs. The girls were giving high fashion. By the end of the day on Serbani Yas, the atmosphere turned very festive, and then it was time to head back on the ship for the final evening on board. I decided to relax by the pool And then I had my final meal on board in the main dining room. However, I did the surf and turf upcharge. Oh wow, that's nice. Look now, I don't blow it out. They gave me a flaming plate. So I ordered surf and turf tonight because I didn't really like a lot was on the menu. The lobster was cooked to perfection. The steak was tastes like it's been boiled meat and then finished on the grill. So I would like that to be grilled, but it was a decent upcharge versus what was on the menu. So the only thing I would complain about my room is no matter how much you clean up, there's always these like black little specks. Behind the TV.
You're watching Al Jazeera. Reminder of our top stories this hour.
And no matter how much you wipe them up, they come back, which makes me think that it's like right up below the vent area. So it makes me think that like it might be an air quality issue. But I don't see them anywhere in the room except like right underneath this one vent. So that was the only thing that I kind of like noticed. Like besides the room's looking a little dated, but given it's a 30-year-old ship, that's fine. But that's the only thing I can really like say like, ooh, that makes you a little concerned. And that wraps up 7 days on Celestyal Journey. I hope you enjoyed seeing this unique cruise experience. And check out Celestyal. They have good itineraries if you don't mind an older but more refined ship. This ship is actually going to dry dock, so it'll be interesting to see what enhancements it comes out with. Until next time, this is CWC. Thanks for traveling with me. Like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.